I have a kind of a fear of success where I almost don't want to be good at what I do in many ways, where
I can kind of feel you on that in a small way. There's a part of me that kind of I like the podcast the way it is now. Like, so there's this part of me, right, that I'm like, man, I look at those analytics and I'm just like, damn, I wish it would go up a little bit. I wish we get some more sponsors. We should get that. But then at the same point, it's kind of like the more listeners you get, the more attention you get,
the more
the more
professional you
room
have
there
to
is
be.
for people to, the more professional you have to be, and then also the more people expect. And
Right.
then also it's kind of like, well, are you going to compromise or change the way it is that you already run the show and the way that it's comfortable, and how much of that is going to change based on the level of circulation that something ends up getting, and
Right.
what does that mean?
And yeah,
But
the more success you have also means the more effort you have to put into it,
mhm.
and the more time you have to commit to it. And it's just like, okay, do I want success in this? Yes, I do. But do I want to put forth the effort? It's basically the same thing we were talking about earlier, but it's always been a struggle for me where, um, I mean, I do a lot of different things. Play, I play music, a whole bunch of different music, and I do video editing. I'm in the process of, I have a board game that I've made with my cousin. You've played the game.
On that, yeah. There's so that's the cool thing about you is you have so many different projects going on, and I think that's one of the reasons that I kind of feel like in a lot of ways I relate to you a lot and kind of feel you, because I'm that same way. It's like we're creative type people, right? We have so many different ideas, so many different things going around in our head, worrying about what's going to succeed, what isn't. Are we putting enough time and effort into this? Are we putting too much time and effort into this? Is this even going to pan out? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like we don't end up, well, procrastinate
Right.
or let something lapse because it's like I'm too afraid of that succeeding, or I'm too afraid that I'm putting in too much effort into it, or whatever these other things. I heard this thing the other day. It was kind of interesting, and I've been telling myself this to try to like stop stressing out about the things, because I have those worries, and especially like in the job that I have, a lot of worries about the future, because it's like obviously this doesn't last forever, and entertaining is the thing that I really know that I love, but I always worry about how I'm going to kind of make that outlast how I look physically, if that makes sense. But there is no past and there is no future, right? Anytime you think about the past, those are just memories. So you're just thinking about it. Anytime that you're worrying about the future isn't a place that you can go. The future isn't a place that you'll just magically be in someday. There's only the present,
Right.
which is right here. So whether you're worrying about something you did in the past and how it's going to affect your future, or how it's affecting your present, all that you're doing on either end of the present is just overthinking,
Right.
and you're stressing yourself out either about things that haven't even happened yet, or about things that have happened that you can't change.
Right.
And so the more I try to like look at that, I'm just like, okay, well, what can I do with the podcast, for instance, that is going to make me feel happy? So I took that suggestion that we were talking about the other day. I downloaded a bunch of episodes, and I'm starting to put together some of those little shorts, like we talked about, like a 10 to 15 minute section that is, for instance, something safe for work.
Right.
Because YouTube just told me that I'm approved for monetization.
Oh,
However,
nice.
however, if you want to get monetized for ads, drug use, even recreational and legal, is not no. So
Right.
if we can take bits of shorts where we're just having these conversations that are 10 to 15 minutes long, that don't show any of the marijuana use or anything like that, then for instance that's something that's small that I can do that won't take that much extra time. And maybe that can help growth in other ways that aren't necessarily like a sponsorship or anything else like that. But I think being scared of success is, it's a thing that a lot of people deal with, but it's also like don't be scared of success. Be afraid of like not trying in the
Right.
first place, because even if you try it, you might never get any of the success or fame or whatever that you're worried about getting. At the end of the day, you could just get a few more fans, or just be happier with the product that you're
Right.
putting out
And
as it
that's
is.
and that's what I always have to tell myself. I
It's
like
hard though.
it is very hard because I'm very I'm very critical of whatever I do. And then also, I don't, I'm critical of things I do. I am not critical of things as much as I do for other people. And also, I have this thing of, I'm working on a documentary right now.
Yep.
And
I love it.
I get some people to show up and do it. And then I have the same issue that you have with people with the podcast, which I have with my podcast as well, where I say, hey,
Canceling.
I am doing this. And then they go, yes, that sounds awesome.
I want
I
to be a
say,
part of
right,
this.
I want to be a part of this. Okay, well, when are you available? And then at that point, I don't hear back from them. And then I go, I give it, I'm like, okay, are you interested or not? And then I give them a couple days, and then I reach out again. I'm like, so are you still wanting to do this? Oh yeah, totally. Oh, okay. So this is my schedule. What's your schedule? Let's see if we can work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yep. Yep.
And
That's
I'm
something
like,
I've encountered so many times, and I completely feel you. And it's something like that's another thing. So it's like, as a person, right? You're a side character in every other person's life.
right.
Like, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, so I get people asking all the time, like, oh, like, who do you have planned to come on the podcast? I'm like, I never plan on anyone anymore. Laura's wants to be a more consistent guest, which will be super cool. Might be doing some solo stuff, but I've reached that same point where it's like, I've reached out to people. They say they want to. We have scheduling. They cancel last minute.
Right.
We reschedule. They cancel again. Or I have people who reach out to me. Like, they're reaching out. And I'm like, oh, well, clearly this must be a thing that you want to do. And then they cancel. So at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to have to figure out how to either A, start doing this on my own and just be okay with that, or find someone who is more consistent like Laura, or even doing some more with you. It's still fun, or just having more fan interaction or any of that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to continue getting upset when people cancel or waste all my time chasing down like some specific talent or whatever, because I also don't want to feel like, say one of those came to fruition, right? And we had rescheduled this many times and this many times, and they said that they want to. It's like, well, then I feel like you're just this thing that's like on a pedestal because you made time for me. It's not like you wanted to be here and you wanted to do this and you wanted to have a real conversation. It's like this was something that you did just to do. And when I sit down with someone, I feel like I want to have like a real, genuine, heart to heart, brain to brain conversation about your life and just figuring out who you are. And when it starts under all these false pretenses, then I don't really feel like it's as genuine as it would have been otherwise either.
Well, I think the truth of the matter is one, well, like what you said earlier, is you're always just a side character in everybody else's quest in life. I actually tell people that a lot. I said that is the good and bad thing about life, which is this. This is the good thing about this. If you understand that you are just a side quest in somebody's life, you can go out there and do a whole bunch of stuff and try as hard as you can. And even if you suck, all you are is a side conversation that happens like once. Like,
Exactly.
like I went up and I did stand-up comedy a few times, and I did good sometimes, and I did
so
okay.
jealous of you.
I did okay some other times. Well, I stopped doing it because it was so late at night, and I had a job that I was working 12 and 13 hours, and I was making myself sick trying to do both things. But
Yeah.
you can go up there. Like I sing karaoke, and I don't care. I'll go up there and sing a song, and I don't care if you like it or not or whatever, or if you sing along with me, because I know at the end of the day, all that happens is okay, what happened? Oh, I went and did karaoke last night. Oh yeah, Was anybody good? Some guy did some song that I liked, and then there was this other thing, and I did this song, or I was too scared to do this, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the whole. You will never be brought up again. And we have this. We
And
have this thought that we are so
Yes.
important that you like. I had this interaction with you. I am so important that you are going
There's
to
something
carry
very
this with you.
freeing.
Yeah, it is very. It does two things.